If you grew up in the modern Western world, especially in America, you were probably taught one core belief. If you want something, you have to fight for it. From childhood, we hear it everywhere. Work harder than everyone else. Push through the pain. Hustle until you collapse. Success is earned. Love must be pursued. Healing is something you battle for. And so, without realizing it, we step into life expecting struggle. We even measure our worth by how much we've suffered for something. But here's where the story changes. Quantum manifestation, the art of aligning with the reality you want, operates under completely different rules. It doesn't reward force. It doesn't require exhaustion. It doesn't demand your blood, sweat, and tears. Instead, it thrives on stillness, clarity, and coherence. This is where the paradox kicks in. The easier something truly is, the more your mind resists it. Why? Because the ego has been programmed to believe, if it's too easy, it can't be real. I remember working with a client named Mark, a CEO of a mid-sized tech company. He was used to working 70-hour weeks, making things happen through sheer willpower. When I explained to him that the most powerful shifts in the quantum field happen when you stop forcing, he laughed. "Sounds like laziness," he said. But the truth? 2 weeks after he tried my alignment method, focusing on being the version of himself who already had what he wanted, he landed a dream contract that had been stalled for months. He hadn't hustled for it. He'd simply tuned to the right frequency. The quantum field doesn't care about your to-do list. It cares about your signal, and a signal filled with doubt, contradiction, and overcomplication will never collapse into a clear reality. Here's the science behind it. In quantum mechanics, coherence means every particle in a system is moving in harmony, amplifying each other's influence. Your consciousness works the same way. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions are aligned, no inner argument, no mixed signals, you become a strong enough signal to influence the field without pushing. But most people don't realize how much noise they're carrying. Doubts, old stories, fear disguised as being realistic. It's like trying to listen to your favorite song on an old radio. While stuck between two stations, you'll only hear static. And here's the wild part. Many of the most miraculous things in your life probably happened when you weren't trying at all. You met that person by chance. You stumbled into that opportunity. You had that breakthrough idea in the shower. Those weren't accidents. That was you being in alignment without even knowing it. So here's my question to you. What if your breakthrough is supposed to be easy? What if your refusal to believe in ease is the only thing holding you back? Stay with me, because in the next section, we're going to uncover how your survival-based programming creates invisible resistance to simplicity, and how to finally dissolve it so you can manifest with clarity and speed. Let's get honest for a moment. If the universe truly responds to your vibration, not your words, then you need to ask yourself, what am I broadcasting when nobody is watching? This is where most people get stuck. You might be visualizing abundance in the morning, but if you spend the rest of the day worrying about bills, you're sending a mixed signal. You might say you're ready for love, but if deep down you believe you're not lovable, your frequency is still tuned to scarcity. It's not that you're broken, it's that your signal is fragmented, and the quantum field can't lock onto a fragmented signal any more than a radio can play a clear song through static. I've seen this over and over in my 10 years of coaching. One client, let's call her Dana, came to me saying, "I've been doing all the manifestation rituals, but nothing changes." When I asked her to describe her normal emotional state, she said, "Mostly anxious." There it was. She wasn't sending the signal of what she wanted, she was sending the signal of waiting for it to fail. This is why self-awareness is the first key to coherence. Not just journaling at night, but noticing in real time when you're slipping back into fear, doubt, or control. That's when you pause, take a breath, and choose not to collapse into the old pattern. The second key is radical responsibility. Not the kind where you blame yourself for everything, but the kind where you own your energy. If something keeps showing up in your life, ask, what is my frequency doing to attract this? When you shift from, why is this happening to me, to, what is this showing me about my signal? The universe starts reflecting something new. The third is holding your state no matter what. Most people wait for good news to feel good, for money to feel secure, for love to feel loved. But that's backwards. In the quantum model, you hold the state first, and reality has no choice but to match it. And then comes the hardest part: detachment from perception. Stop labeling everything as good or bad, success or failure. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in my life came disguised as breakdowns. Looking back, I see they were simply my old frequency collapsing to make room for the new. Think of it like clearing out a room before moving in new furniture. It looks messy at first, but it's necessary. If you panic halfway through and bring the old furniture back in, you never complete the shift. In the next section, we'll explore the hallway between timelines, what it feels like when your old life no longer fits, but the new one hasn't fully arrived. There's a moment before every quantum leap that almost no one talks about. It's the in-between space when you've let go of your old identity, but your new reality hasn't yet anchored. It feels strange. The old door's closed, but the new one hasn't opened. You're standing in a hallway with no clear view of where you're going. I've been in that hallway many times. Once, early in my career, I walked away from a corporate job that drained my soul. I had no backup plan, just a knowing I couldn't stay. For weeks, I felt like I was floating in uncertainty. My ego kept screaming, "You made a mistake!" But deep down, something in me knew I was in the right place because it was quiet. Not empty, just quiet. Here's the truth. The hallway is sacred. It's where the energy that held your old reality together is dissolving. The beliefs, habits, and patterns that defined you are losing their grip, and your nervous system is learning to hold more power, more possibility. But your ego will try to drag you back. It will create fear, restlessness, doubt, anything to get you to return to the familiar. Most people misinterpret this as failure and quit right before the breakthrough. Think of a radio changing stations. There's always a moment of static between channels. That static doesn't mean you're lost. It means you're tuning in. The key to moving through the hallway is to stop forcing and start allowing. Breathe, observe, trust. This is the space where your frequency stabilizes, so the new timeline can finally land. When my client Mike held steady in his hallway, refusing to rush back to his old job, he landed a role that paid more and matched his passion. He didn't find it by hustling. It found him because his signal was clear. In the final section, we'll bring it all together: how to live as the shift so your new reality doesn't just appear temporarily, but becomes your new normal. Here's the final truth. The version of you who already has what you want isn't somewhere in the future. They exist now. So your job isn't to chase them, it's to become them. Living as the shift means holding your identity steady, no matter what's happening around you. It means you don't outsource your emotional state to circumstances. You don't wait for proof before you believe. When challenges arise, you meet them as the version of yourself who's already on the other side. If money dips, you still carry the energy of abundance. If relationships shift, you still carry the energy of love. This is emotional mastery. This is energetic maturity. And it's exactly what the quantum responds to. In my own life, The biggest leaps didn't come from new techniques. They came from moments when I decided, this is who I am now, and refused to step out of that frequency. Reality adjusted itself every time. Masters of manifestation don't give you more steps, they transmit a state, and that state reminds you of something you've always known. You are the shift. So, take a deep breath with me. Inhale, exhale. Let this be your anchor. Let it be the moment you decide that ease isn't weakness, it's alignment. You don't have to struggle to receive. You were never meant to. You were meant to resonate and allow.